luxury buyers are rediscovering the value of Northern Michigan, whether it's waterfront estates, privacy, or lifestyle. So fill us in on what is going on in the luxury market here. It's going wild, right?
It's raging. If you're a seller, if you're a buyer, it's maybe not as favorable, but we have some really breathtaking numbers. So the first stat is unit sales. So homes sold over $1 million, 24% more units this year than last year. So 115 versus 93. That's really significant.
That is a big jump. Now I know, not to get you sidetracked too much here, year over year values have increased rather rapidly over the last 4 or 5 years, and so the metric we're using here for luxury is at 1 million, correct?
1 million plus. And so some would even say, I've seen some memes and things lately are like, is $1 million home even luxury anymore? But that's what we're using to define it here in Northern Michigan.
Correct. So a little bit of that percentage is just that, those $800,000 and $900,000 homes are now in this bracket. So the rising sea has lifted some ships as well into this. But that's really not what the root of this is or the true story.
It's not the primary driver, especially with the general market being up overall. So increase in unit productivity year over year of 2%. So what we're seeing is the first-time home buyer market under 400 is still really doing well. That's pretty much always the case because people want to stop renting. They're not super sensitive to rate environment. And then the luxury market is just really solid. And another metric that points that out is not only are units up almost a quarter over what they were year over year, but the volume, so the total dollar volume that actually sold, 62%. 62%.
Yeah.
Year over year, just this time last year to same time last year.
Yeah, and so historically in our market, it's always been a little bit challenging to look at some of these statistics because you'll have, say in the old days, 10 years ago or something, you'd have some of these $3 or $4 million sales go through, and it would totally skew your average number. You'd really have to look at the median for that. But here we're seeing, I don't think we have it quite broken out, but I would just say by sort of the feel that it's not just the $1 million plus, we're seeing quite a bit larger number of, say, those 3, 4, and 5 million plus. I mean, there's also been some bigger sales that have been in the 8 and 9 and 10 million range as well.
No doubt. And just to put a number on it, I mean, we're talking through the end of Q3 this year from January, 288 million in volume versus 177 million. So yeah, there's some big deals in there, but there's also some unit increases as well. So we don't really measure median sell because you're sort of picking, prices above $1 million, so that's not really meaningful. But the other thing that we do look at is inventory and days on the market to kind of give us the health and of what's going on in the luxury market. It's the same as the general market. We are seeing inventory build. Mm-hmm. So inventory in the luxury home segment is up 30%. And we're seeing days on the market, though, stay relatively flat. So of those homes that have sold this year, they sold in 74 days. It takes a little bit longer to sell a luxury home for all the obvious reasons.
Which is still insanely fast compared to a decade ago.
Any time in history, it's still fast compared to last year. So last year it was 70 days. So it's only, 4-day increase. And then what's really interesting too is that the homes that go unsold, it's more common for a luxury home to go unsold because it's just a narrower set of buyers. So in the regular market, that number is 63%, but in the luxury market, 50% of homes, exactly, 50% of homes that listed this year have sold. Last year it was 47%.
Yeah.
So price is up, units up, and I just wonder, getting away from the data for a minute, you've been doing this for 25 years, what do you think's going on here?
Yeah, so we are definitely, I think there's a little bit of turnover, generational turnover, could be a possible explanation for why more properties have come on the market. Mm-hmm. And that's just, families that are, inheriting or maybe no longer using the property for whatever reason, are putting them on the market. And then I would say, the cat is out of the bag. We've done some previous videos other people have done videos, there's articles published, and that is that Northern Michigan has been deemed one of the best places in North America as far as climate change goes. And then certainly if you just take a look around what we call, I guess, lower northwestern Michigan, right? So the Petoskey, Harbor Springs, Indian River, Boyne City, Charlevoix, all the way down to even Traverse City, that this market has really become just I don't know if safe haven is the right word, but a retreat away from the heat of Texas, Florida, Southern California. Don't get me wrong, many people love those temperatures, certainly in the winter time.
In February, yes. But not so much in August.
So we're seeing, I think what we're seeing is an influx of buyers that maybe were not familiar with Northern Michigan are falling in love with it and buying summer places here.
It'd be interesting to know the data, but anecdotally, based on some of the clients that we've supported too, is that there are some families, like you said, the generational Northern Michigan homes and locals that are trading up.
Yeah.
So they're selling because they're buying a nicer, newer, bigger home, or in some cases, as some of our boomers start to simplify, they're trading down. So there's just more churn, there's more activity in the market. Maybe there's some element of it that's opportunistic. You know, it seems like when you look at the data, we've reached a peak in the market, although it keeps surprising us every year that prices keep going up. And I think that a lot of people are saying, I'm tired of waiting for interest rates. I'm tired of waiting. I'm ready to go on with what is next for us and our family. And so they're putting that sign in the ground.
Yeah, I've talked about it before. I sort of call it the COVID effect in real estate. And that is, this mentality of that life is short, which in the big picture, it really is. And so I believe we have seen more and more people that have sort of stepped up and said, hey, I'm gonna make this decision, I'm gonna make this purchase now and start living this Northern Michigan dream and enjoying the lifestyle and everything that Northern Michigan has to offer.
Yeah, without a doubt. So if you're in the luxury market, you're a buyer thinking about buying, you're a seller thinking about selling. Obviously, every realtor wants to sell luxury real estate, but sometimes, greener grass requires a different lawnmower, right? So what's your advice on, how to assess whether or not now's the right time for you to buy or sell?
Sure. I mean, obviously a consultation, we can really sort of drill down. Each community is a little bit different with their statistics and their numbers. Overall, it's a healthy market to be a seller. And I would say it's probably a healthy market to be a buyer if this trend continues, as I've told the majority of my waterfront buyers or luxury buyers. This is probably not a decision that you're going to have second thoughts on in 5 years from now, just the way things have trended. And I think what the future demand of Northern Michigan real estate is, despite what happens in other markets, I do think that this market, I've been saying it for like 10 years, I still think this market is going to be in demand.
So far, he's been right. So if we can help you, give us a call, slide into our DMs, or, definitely like and subscribe for more videos like this.